Hey, welcome back. We are going to be watching some Z Frank today, and we're going to learn about some pigeon facts. Pretty excited for this one because I don't know a whole lot about pigeons, but I do like them. I see them all the time, so I think they're kind of cool. They're kind of cute. They uh they seem like they're pretty chill for the most part. So if you do get a chance, I'd appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. And I also want to let you guys know that we do have memberships available now. So if you do want to support the channel, that is a great way to do it. And if not, I'm just happy to have you guys here. So please don't feel pressured to do any of that. I'm just letting you know. As always, I do have Z Frank's video linked in my description below. So be sure to go and watch him, like his videos, watch his videos, all that good stuff. Give him lots of support because he does awesome, awesome work. So, all right, let's see what's going on with these pigeons.
This episode is sponsored by CuriosityStream. You might think that pigeons are just mindless peckers. Well, then what's this one doing pecking at a computer screen? Why is this one in a box with a banana? And will this pigeon live to see another day? Well, you're about to find out.
Oh man, they're mindless peckers. Of course they are.
Banana. And will this pigeon live to see another day? Well, you're about to find out. If you've ever seen a pigeon walk, you might have wondered what's going on with all the head bobbing. Are they...
Yes, I have actually always wondered that. I see them on like our neighbor's roof a lot, and they like walk around on the on the top of the roof, and I'm always like, why do they walk like that? It looks like
If you've ever seen a pigeon walk, you might have wondered what's going on with all the head bobbing. Are they broken? And they do a lot of it, up to 8 times a second. So fast, in fact, that it wasn't until the 1960s that they realized that this forward and backwards motion was an illusion. It's not a bob, it's a thrust and stop. You can see it if you slow it down. The head goes first and then stays absolutely still while the body moves forward to join it. And
oh, yeah. I totally thought this was like a head bob.
Was an illusion. It's not a bob, it's a thrust and stop. You can see it if you slow it down. The head goes first and then stays absolutely still while the body moves forward to join it. And it turns out they're not broken at all. This movement has to do with their vision. Here's one way to look at it. Let's say that you are casually perusing some random page on the internet. You wouldn't do this. Continuous scrolling? No, you can't focus on anything. It'd make you sick.
This is making me sick. Please stop. This is making my eyes go crazy.
Why it's hard to go through an Instagram feed with someone else driving, for example. More likely you would do something like this, scroll and pause. And that's because the light receptors in our eyes need a moment to recover between images, or else it's all a blur. That's essentially what the pigeon is doing with its head. Now
Oh, that's actually like a really good way to explain it. That does make a lot of sense.
We don't bob our heads like the pigeon do, but our eyes are constantly trying to keep the world still. Here. Try and move your eye from that teal dot to the orange dot along the horizon line. Notice what your eyes are doing. They're jumping a bit, like this. You can try as hard as you like, but you can't move them smoothly. But you don't experience that motion as your eyes jump from one place to the next, because your eyes sort of shut down during those jumps. If you look at this image, you'll notice that your eyes seem to automatically move in the direction of the motion, which is a reflex designed to keep the image still. And these...
Why are we doing this to me, please? This stuff makes me like, it like hurts my head.
Sorts of...
I get it though.
Reflexes are found in almost all animals that have eyes, and are responsible for things like the gyroscopic head of a chicken, a murder chicken. Anyway, if you put a pigeon on a treadmill that's moving at the same speed that they're walking, they don't bob their head when they walk because their surroundings are still. And Pigeon on a Treadmill is the name of your next album. You're welcome.
I want a pigeon on a treadmill. Can I make like a little one? We could pull a sweatband on them. Yeah. I'll name him Mike.
Because their surroundings are still. And Pigeon on a Treadmill is the name of your next album. You're welcome. Now, if you spend any time watching pigeons, you might be wondering on a scale of 1 to a leg-humping chihuahua, just how horny are they? I'm sure you've seen it. A male...
I don't know if this question has ever crossed my mind, but I guess it has now.
Scale of 1 to a leg-humping chihuahua, just how horny are they? I'm sure you've seen it. A male pigeon does this head-bowing thing and waddles up to a female with his tail all fanned out. It can look a bit pushy, to be honest, and a lot of these gestures are the same as a male would use to be aggressive. But in this case, it's more like a dance. Jerry, these are wood pigeons. I don't care if it's cheaper, Jerry. It's the wrong species. How much cheaper? Oh, well, let's
They look cool though. I don't think I've ever seen these ones. These ones look cool.
hope they don't notice. He bows, and then she might peck at the ground a bit, naughty. And seeing that, he might turn a circle or two and rush towards her and then stop and preen for a moment. And it's exciting, gets the hormones flowing. And at this point, he might go in for a little peck, not a kiss, like an actual peck. And that might lead to beaking, which is when you know it's getting real. So
oh my. That is oh. I guess that's romantic. Like oh my goodness. I was not ready for that.
Actual peck.
Just
and that might lead to beaking, which is when you know it's getting real. So she puts her beak inside his beak and he pukes up a little food for her to eat. I mean, we've all done it.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet.
No? Now, of course, reeling from the glorious taste of his vomit, she might squat down, signaling she's up for it. And then it's just a matter of getting her tail feathers out the way. But of course, if you're out on the street watching, most of the time it doesn't seem to go that well for the males. And you might think the whole pigeon scene is a bunch of bachelors getting rejected all day. But here's the thing. First off, pigeons will often mate for life, which means a lot of these pigeons probably know each other, and it's more of a, no, Steve, I don't know what has two thumbs and wants to get laid. And
okay. I understand. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that probably makes for some interesting single and mingle time.
Each other, and it's more of a, no, Steve, I don't know what has two thumbs and wants to get laid. And I told you the joke doesn't work, you don't have thumbs. God. And these displays aren't always just about leading up to mating either. Couples will often do these displays to reconnect, and it can actually be quite adorable.
Aww.
Wings all wrapped around each other. And they do a little version of this dance when it's time to pick a location for the nest. Alright, so we should probably have a chat about pigeon nests. Where were we? Oh, right. Now, pigeon nests get a bit of a bad rap. I mean, it's true that some of them look like the pigeons read the instructions after a bottle of tequila and then woke up.
Wait. These are actual nests? They look like, this one just looks like garbage. I did not realize that their nests were so unhinged.
True that some of them look like the pigeons read the instructions after
Looks
a bottle
like a
of
mess.
tequila and then woke up vaguely remembering that it had something to do with sticks. I mean, come on, that looks like the end of Act 2 in The Three Little Pigs. But before you judge, you should ask what the purpose of that nest is anyway. These sorts of pigeons are essentially domesticated rock doves, and rock doves are cliff dwellers. And in those little cliff hidey holes, the main thing is to make sure your egg don't roll away. They don't have to build some sturdy stick bowl to make it stay in a tree. Although, side note, you don't need a nest in a tree either. It turns out the white tern turns out an egg right into the armpit of a tree branch.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. That's a really pretty little egg though. These birds are pretty. That little baby's adorable.
Either. It turns out the white tern turns out an egg right into the armpit of a tree branch.
Wild.
No sticks at all, so by comparison, a pigeon is a regular Frank Lloyd Wright of nest building. And even if it is a single stick, don't you worry, those babies are going to be comfy. Mom and Dad are on it, literally. They take turns sitting on that nest and almost never leave it unattended. They take it serious. I mean, you can see they don't even...
Where is this? Is this on, like there's so many shoes in here. It's like on the roof maybe somewhere. That's cool that they take turns though. That this is bird parenting 101.
On that nest and almost never leave it unattended. They take it serious. I mean, you can see they don't even always make it to the outhouse. I know it's not explicitly written in most parenting books, but I do think the norm is to put some distance between the crib and where you shit. No judgment. Anyway, this goes...
That is fair. I think that is fair to say, for sure.
I think the norm is to put some distance between the crib and where you shit. No judgment. Anyway, this goes on for a while. Look at the babies. Adorable.
Aww.
If you've never seen a pigeon baby before, it's because they stay in the nest for up to...
I have actually never seen a baby pigeon. They are kind of wild looking. This was not what I imagined, that's for sure. This would not have been my guess.
Adorable. If you've
They're
never
pretty
seen
cute,
a pigeon baby before, it's because they stay in the nest for up to a month after they hatch. And by then, when they can fly away, they look all grown up. And there it is. That's the life of a pigeon. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down, or a stick, for the nest. Rinse and repeat. And you might wonder if maybe there's not that much going on in those little noggins. And of course, that's why they put one in a box with a banana. See if the pigeon could work that out. I know the temptation here is to feel superior, like, come on, I could do that. But listen, have you ever been in a box with a banana? Might be kind of overwhelming. Going through the life choices you made that led you to that moment, and depending on how ripe the banana is, it might stink in there. I mean, it's enough to make this pigeon forget it can fly, you know? But
True. But look, he's moving the little block over there, though. Get your banana treat.
it eventually has the wherewithal to use the little stool when it gets a bit peckish. And once you show a science hippie you can do something like that, forget about it. They're testing you on everything. They wanted to understand courtship better and set up a whole video dating scenario.
Oh, wow.
And it worked. The pigeons saw each other on the screen and started doing, the moves. But then the science hippies put a delay in the feed. So he's like, what's your name? And she says, nothing. And he says, do you come here often? Nancy. And he's like, oh, is Nancy a name? And she's like, no, it's my first time. And the whole thing gets screwed up. But now they know that there's some back and forth going on.
My gosh, that seems like it's so mean to do. Gosh, the things we do for science.
My first time. And the whole thing gets screwed up. But now they know that there's some back and forth going on. And you might be thinking, well, what are they looking for? What makes a bird attractive? So just like on Tinder, you can show a pigeon photos and see which one elicits a courtship response. And you can manipulate those images to accentuate certain traits. Maybe make the eyes bigger or that. I mean, if you have Photoshop open, you might as well go for it. Anyway, it turned out that the eyes didn't matter so much, but they did like a nice-sized beak. But here's the thing, though. It didn't matter where it was.
Oh my
You could swap the beak and the eye, and they'd still be into it. What's crazy is this has support from an experiment in the 80s. These baby...
Well, this is from the 80s. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. But that we go back that far for pigeon research. This is so cursed. This is so terrible. This is like smash or pass with playing. It's like playing smash or pass with pigeons.
Still be into it. What's crazy is this has support from an experiment in the 80s. These baby chickens who'd never seen anything before had to choose between a stuffed bird and a stuffed bird that was all jumbled up.
Oh my
Remember,
God.
this is the 80s. Everyone's on cocaine. This is what science was back then.
Science.
Anyway, the chicks didn't mind the jumbling as long as there was an intact face. Like this one was on par with a normal bird, but this one was just a bit too much.
Oh my
And
God.
you might be thinking, if pigeons can get into a bird with a beak where its eyes should be, it's probably not so visually sophisticated. All right, so let me ask you, which one of these is a picture of breast cancer? You don't know, but you can train a pigeon to tell you. Turns out they have sensitivity to patterns and visual relationships that's on some AI level shit. And they're doing it with images they haven't seen before at an 85 to 90% level of accuracy. And that's not all. Pigeons can make children cry with science. Some pigeons were trained to discern good children's art from bad children's art.
Oh my God, these kids got roasted, didn't they? By a pigeon. They got pigeon roasted.
Which apparently had to do with how realistic the drawings were. Again, the pigeons did a great job, sparing parents the cost of sending their kids to art school. You could have pigeon guidance counselors. Check this one out. You can teach a pigeon a bunch of words, some of them real words like bust, and some of them nonsense words like varn. Now the pigeon gets a treat if it pecks on a word that's real, or the star shape if it's a made-up word. Now you start mixing in new words that the pigeon's never seen before, both nonsense and real. And you know what? The pigeon's able to tell which ones are real and which ones aren't. It picked up patterns on what makes a word real. You can't bullshit a pigeon. And I'll tell you...
Damn, I didn't realize that pigeons had brains like this. This is cool. I want a pigeon.
It picked up patterns.
Okay, so asking for a friend. How do you lure pigeons closer to your yard so you can maybe have a friend?
Patterns on what makes a word real. You can't bullshit a pigeon. And I'll tell you, if you want to invest in a company that makes peck-proof screens, because the science hippies seem to use them quite a bit. Here they got pigeons pecking color patterns in order for peanuts or whatever they eat, and then patterns made out of shapes. What is that, a book? A windmill? Oh, and the words peck me. Someone was having fun in the lab. And here they are remembering patterns even after the shapes get covered up. I mean, the bottom line is they have some pretty sophisticated visual cognitive abilities.
Yeah, they do.
Not dum-dums. I mean, their brain is about the size of a walnut, but it's jam-packed with neurons. More than twice the density of our brain, but it has to process a lot of information. They have 2 highly sensitive areas or foveas in each eyeball compared to our 1, and they have a field of vision that covers 340 degrees. Compare that with the 0 degrees covered
Oh.
by a dead pigeon. And you need those kind of peepers if you have falcons chasing your ass from all directions. And it helps with navigation, especially from above. You try telling a Walmart from an IKEA just based on the shape of the roof. Let alone finding the exact park bench where that crazy pigeon lady has strewn morsels of stale hot dog buns. But you can release some pigeons 40 miles away from home in a place they've never been, and they can find their way back before dinner.
That is so crazy. That's so cool. I need a pigeon friend.
It's 40 miles away from home in a place they've never been, and they can find...
Like, I don't want to like keep it. I just want one that's like wild that'll just come hang out, and I'll put, birdseed out for it or something. Just hang out with me when I come outside.
And their way back before dinner. So how do they do that? One more recent theory is that they create little molecules in their eyes that interact with Earth's magnetic field. So they can kind of see Earth's magnetic field. And that works day or night.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if they've got that, it's a little less impressive. A big
Ooh, these look cool. I've never seen these before either. They're so pretty.
fly this way sign in the sky. I mean, I'd take back those war medals the pigeons got. It's bullshit. It's Varn.
This video was amazing. I love this. It makes me want a pigeon, or at least like try to be friends with one outside. Is that so bad? I mean, we have one neighbor that's got like a bird bath. I'll put out bird seed. It'll, I just want like little pigeon friends that be out there when I come outside. No, this is great though. Z Frank always does a great job. So be sure to go and like and subscribe to him and all that good stuff because he does amazing work. But I'm really happy with this one. I learned a lot. There's a lot I didn't know, like the whole head bob thing. That's actually pretty cool, and how smart they are. There's so many birds that are just so smart, and I really appreciate learning about it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.